Hello. 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 Testing, testing, testing. Testing. Many testing. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Right, jolly good. Okay. The audio is working now, it's fantastic, so don't worry about that. Right, we pick up where we left off from episode 2. I'm not sure if I've actually set it to public yet, but I'll have a quick nose. Back onto the Floyd coast. There's been a few, whilst I've been waiting for OBS to update, because the program that I use to stream has had an update and I've had to wait for it to update, and it took a long time, even though it's only a small program at the end of the day. I mean, there's a lot going on with the program, but it's a small program still. So yeah, there's been a few changes, ever so slight, and I'll walk you through them. Following some of the disasters we had, this train line coming up to the south part of the town was damaged all the way through here. The line was completely damaged or even wrecked. So here it's all been repaired now. This bridge has been altered, so instead of the bridge coming over here, whereas this train line wasn't able to pass through, I've removed the bridge there, repaired the line, made the line carry on through. But I've had to make the bridge here, unfortunately. Falls in a bit of a tight area there, junction wise. What I might have to do. I might have to leave that for now. Or maybe attempt at doing a junction elsewhere. Maybe even do this. You gotta be joking. Oh. There we go. I'll have to drive down there, I think. Yeah, stuff them. Right, so yeah, the train has been repaired. There's been a bit of a road system change here. Oh shit, now the bus needs to come up this way, doesn't it? Yes, of course. At some point it's got to come down here. Which actually it can do, Thinking about it. Sweet. Oh, no. Oh, we don't have the Green Cities DLC, so we can ignore that. Oh, fixed it. The evacuation route's not working, right. That's good. So we fixed that. Oh, right, do it. Make it worse. Right, so that service comes up there, does it? Then we sort of change that, make it so it stops there. Towards number 2. And also this is I'll bring this bus instead. And bring that instead. Oh, that's working a treat. But ignore that for now. Right, so I fixed that bus route so it's a bit more fluid. It comes in. Pops an elephant plate. Fish street. No. I'm trying to click on that. At least the coming down from their duties, which is cool. Yeah, a couple more on there actually. So a few more, bring it up to. Oh yeah, that train line there has been replaced. I keep going over what I've said already, it's not even myself even. That's what we could do here too. Over there. That does give a connection. Oh, something happened. Okay, so my game's got a bit too low. Shit. F1 quick save, so let's press F1. Oh, we've got actual trains operating. People are actually getting access to the train line and doing train things. So I'm trying to emulate as best I can the train stations on that line in real life on the Floyd coast. Unfortunately, the layout of the town is completely nothing like what it is in real life. So I've tried putting the stations in close proximity to where they would be. So we've got a very small station here. Ordinarily there isn't a bypass line like this going past, but I think that's what they are planning on doing because they are upgrading the lines at the moment, you see. So I've put a bypass line in myself, just so trains can pass and not get stuck in the stations. And of course further up there's another station here, and again the trains can come in or they can bypass. I'm going to be putting the one actually here. about here, and of course at the end of the line, which is about here. So this is new changing. The tram line, as I wasn't really speaking much on the last episode due to the high winds, again, I've tried creating this to be as real as possible. So the promenade, the housing here on the promenade, the corners here, so you've got the promenade and the tram line that follows it. It curves around and you have a big junction here. And this is normally where the tram line ends, and you usually have a little loop here. There's an area where the trams wash. The tram depot in real life is much bigger. So what I've done is I've just tried to fill in the space with offices and a couple of leisure places. But this is where the tram depot actually is. On the coast it actually is. Here, when its motorway road comes in and you join the main promenade. What isn't true to life is how I've done this road here. Normally, when you come down this road, it's nothing for a few miles. It's just dunes and more dunes and more dunes, and then it's about here is where the town starts. So that train station should normally be about here. And then you have the airport, that's between the train line. Oh, sorry, it's on the other side of the train. So the airport would be about here. So what I've done instead is I've actually added on to the tram line. Normally the tram line would stop here and turn around, and this is where it would terminate, and the trams would turn around. But what I've done is I've got a bit crafty and I've decided to extend the tram line and extend it down my fictional promenade, which carries on, which comes down here. So where the tram line would normally end here, but would continue all the way northbound. I can't really. Yeah, the tram line would go all the way up here. What I've done is I've added on basically a couple of miles. There was rumour that I was supposed to be planning on doing this tram line all the way down, following this riverside, but I'm not doing that. The next extension should happen soon in the town that I'm recreating, and it's just connecting the train station on the north line, not the south line that I've been working on, but on the north side, to the rest of the tram network. There are a few tram stops here and there. This is just to try and pick up some leisure, travel tours and stuff like that, which I don't think on this game it's really working so well. I think on the game they're really more interested in using the buses because the buses go further than the tram. I mean, I can't even see how many people are on there. I'll try and keep it true to life. Occasionally the tram does join on the road and then goes off. There's a couple instances of that. More so on the northern side of the line. The new buses I've put them on to start unbunching soon, otherwise it's just going to get a bit too busy. Last time most of the traffic's been alleviated there. Some large problem earlier on. So as I've quickly saved the game, what I'm going to have to do is Alt F4. Alt F4 fixes a lot of problems. Game has minimised. On my side, the game has closed down. Let's reload again. Okay, so whilst I've been getting Cities restarted, I've also published the second episode, which was the last live stream. That's now on the Cities Skylines live playlist on my channel if you want to have a quick look at that. Like I say, talking on it, I usually talk a bit, you know, and I usually try and interact with the audience and the viewers and stuff like that, but unfortunately with that night being, you know, where I live in my country, we were getting the backlash of the hurricane that had crossed over the Atlantic, which was actually downgraded to a storm, but it was still giving us gale force winds of over 100 miles an hour. You know, gates were being blown open, cars were getting covered in foam. You know, it's just one of them. Right, so the game has reloaded. It's good to see. I should have a look at the stream and see if any of you guys are saying anything. Okay, so it's quiet on the stream for now, which is fine. Looks like the alarm hasn't fixed itself. There's a little bit of a problem. It does seem to be very broken, that mod. Apparently it's going to rework to noise pollution. A lot of people seem to do a lot of walking. Have a quick nosy at the bus service. There's something very not right with that mod. I don't understand what's not with it. Known bugs, none. I'll just disable it now. Okay, so you have any issues with it. I don't know, very much. Schematics on that one. Still something. We're using the Cities Sprinkler in this country, but it's not like a regulation. So we're not going to go for that. Is what I'm looking for, like this side or this side. Thank you. Okay. Let's continue again. So just to recap, we've had to come out of the game, we've had to remove a mod that updated thanks to the green cities update that's come out. And since it's updated, it's caused a slight issue with we'll look at simulation failed errors. What we like to see. Try it again. So, hopefully disabling that mod hasn't caused an issue here. I've got a China pack prefabs. That should be things like Panda Zoo if it's available. Yeah, Panda Zoo, we're going to Pearl Tower, stuff like that. And there's some new things that have been brought in. Thanks to. Can we properly access the bus system? And yes, we can. So I've had to take off TLM. We're back now onto the original. And the game's actually working a lot better now when it comes to IP2. Right, so that's, I suppose, an improvement there. Just readjust those a little bit. You know, as long as very similar colours, it looks good. That service does in fact come down here. Interacts with imagery down. Right, now we sort out our water issue. We need to get a bit more water coming in. Okay, so recycling centres aren't keeping up with the demand we've got at the moment. Okay, more. Right, so as we can see, I turned off that TLM mod, which is a great mod when it's working, but for some reason it's not. So I've gone back to the game's default transport management window, which is alright because IP2 is still managing my target gaps and stuff like that, so that's not a huge problem. Still got the ability to manage my transport system as well as I could do, although we are missing a few parts of the interface where it was quite handy to see where the bottlenecks was on the lines, but now it's just more of a manual. We'll have to click on the line, look at the line details, see through here, try and see where the bottlenecks are, like at this stop here, and it's trying to address that and sorting out problems. So I can see here this is on the line where it's mostly northbound. Unfortunately there's no tram line here to take over. And there won't be one anytime soon because the line is nowhere near being complete. When I say nowhere near being complete, it is absolutely nowhere near. This line had far more than this in reality. I could have been cheeky. And do that for now. Anyhow, that'll be a way to sort out the problem. A much larger tram is there. So I'd like that route to be a much larger tram route, as it's going to be the main route. Oh! So yeah, like I don't know, sometimes when I'm building cities, I just concentrate on doing pipelines and stuff. There's unemployment going on there for some reason. Hmm. Hmm. Yes. No? looks a bit better. That looks a little bit better, so that's good. Enough is enough is enough. I just give it that name just for a laugh. Because the height map that I'm using here is actually of the Fylde Coast. There's a town in England called Blackpool. There's a few other towns around it called Lytham St Anne's, Fleetwood Cleveland. But where I'm building here is where Lytham St Anne's normally is. And across the river you've got Southport and stuff like that. So where it's normally the Fylde Coast, I've called it the Floyd Coast, just there's a play on the name a little bit. Thank you very much. Thank you. You get to about 5,000 people. It's a bit difficult to say really because every game is a little bit different, you see. Not massively different, but there are differences, yeah, in people building styles, things like that. Not game-changingly different because when I started this city, there was just this little area here, and I've been building it out and out more and more. And of course, to get your population up, you need to have, you know, jobs, industry and retail both work together, and then that requires more population to be brought in. As for yourself, where you say you need to have more educated workers and things like that, I'm sure you know how the system works when a building wants uneducated. Essentially, uneducated is your people who don't go to school at all. Educated is elementary school. Well educated is high school. Highly educated is university. The only thing I can recommend is when you've got an estate where you've got quite a lot of houses, is just to have one school covering quite a large area. So, for example, in my all these houses here is a temporary build at the moment because these are all going to get knocked down in the future. So right now I've only got this one elementary school here, which is, you know, educating enough people to do most of the jobs. And then I've got a high school here which is fully populated. So you don't want to put too many schools in. The other thing to do as well is to make sure there's enough make sure there's an ability for people to get back and forth from the schools. So outside the high school here, I've got this bus station off the Steam Workshop. It's a modified bus station. All you do is just download it, place it down. So this school here, where there's about 1,000 students who go to it, you'll see a lot of them are actually here catching the bus, and they're catching the bus back and forth from home. So some of these high school students, if I just click on this school, you'll see the ones that use public transport. A lot of people are walking to it, but there's a lot of people who are using cycles, pedestrians, walking from like this bus stop down here. So it's a case of getting the people to the school as well. You don't just build your schools, you need to get the people going to the schools. And the way I've done that is just by having a decent bus network, as you can see there. I've got one bus network that sort of does part of the city there, and the other part of it does another good chunk, so a lot of people can just jump on the bus and go to school in that sense. That's why if you see up here there's no schools or anything up here, and you'll find that the bus stops around here are just absolutely jam-packed full of people. Now a lot of these will be wanting to go to shops. So yeah, there's a person there who's going to that high school. So even though they're not even in the area for the school, like if you look down this road for education, there's no coverage whatsoever. But these people that are in these houses are still getting on the bus to go to that school, which is, what for them is a good 3-mile bus journey. So that's the only thing I can recommend, is if you've got the people in your city. I'm not quite sure when the bus actually unlocks. I think your buses unlocking. Yeah, your buses unlock at 2,000 population. So if you've got the money, just invest in a simple bus network that goes from the school to people's houses. That'll just transport those kids essentially to that school, and they can become well educated by going to the school. Other than that, I can't really advise anything else apart from see if there's any other mods out there where you can get another school which has more people in. Like for example, this elementary school that I've placed here, this school takes 1,000 uneducated people, which then will proceed on to high school later on. That's all I can advise really. The buses, even though it costs more to run, so like here I'm only making £1,000 coins every week compared to the 4,400 coins. Oh, sorry. In my case, it's only costing me 1,800 coins, but they're making 1,100. It's very unlikely that you could make money from your bus routes. You can if you really, really work on them. I find just getting people from A to B. And there's some mods out here where you can manage your bus routes a bit better, where you can add vehicles, take it off budget control so it's not costing you any money, or not costing you as much money. In my case, I can select what bus I want to use, so I can use bigger buses with more capacity, just to get people moving from one side to the other. So that's all I can advise, is make sure the schools are actually accessible. I'm still waiting for this sinkhole to appear. Oh.
Sinkhole has occurred somewhere in the city. Stay out of harm's way and contact authorities with any information.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. I'm not sure what you can do on the Xbox as opposed to adding modifications to the game. As you can see, I'm playing it on PC. I've not had a look at the Xbox One edition at all. It's not something that I will be looking into because I don't see this as the kind of game I would play on the console. Because the game is that complex. I find using a pad probably a bit more restrictive. Unfortunately, if you can't have any mods on the console in regards to having all different kinds of vehicle types and things like that, you're just going to have to bite the bullet with the budget that the game gives you. And the buses, I know, the standard bus on the game can only hold 30 passengers. So you're probably going to have a lot of buses going back and forth as opposed to what I've got, whereas I've got these I can spot them. Yeah, so like this bus here, which is an Optare Solo, this is a bus that somebody else has created on the Steam Workshop. I've downloaded it into game, and their bus holds 50 passengers, even though it's a smaller bus than what the game gives you to begin with. In reality they do hold about 50 people. And then also I've got this other bus, wherever it is, and this bus here which holds 95 people because it's a much larger bus. So when you've got this kind of transit going on in the game where you've got nearly 3 times as many people on the bus as you would do normally, that is a massive help. So if you can imagine, if you're playing it and you're trying to get kids or students for university and stuff like that from A to B, you're probably going to have 3 times as many vehicles coming and stopping, which you'll then have to find the way to manage those logistics. Like, the best way I can think of is if, let's say you had the road, let's say your school was here, you could potentially have like a road coming off purely just for buses to stop on. So you'd just have like your bus coming down, stopping nearby the school, and then either carrying on or turning back around to go back up to the houses, things like that. So that's one thing you could consider doing. I tend to loop my bus routes around like this, so let's imagine, for argument's sake, that goes off into the distance. You'll have your bus coming in to drop the kids off at school or to pick them up when they're going home, and they'll come back and carry on that route. And you could have it coming in from multiple directions. You could have, let's say, another bus route coming from another part of the city that comes in, lets them off, and that's going back home another way. So, let's say your high school's there, your elementary school's there. So that'll be something you could consider doing. Is that's kind of like in this somewhere, not in the centre of your town, but you'll have an area where you've got a school and a high school next to each other, and houses and retail and stuff veering off all different ways, and then just having a decent place for them to stop, people to wait and get on. So what you're not getting is when cars are coming down the road, you've got about 3 buses waiting to pick people up, and then you've got traffic bunching up, which is what you don't want, because traffic is a killer on this game if you can't manage it properly. Yeah, that's the one thing you got to watch out for, is traffic. I mean, you've got the ability to see how bad traffic is on the game and things like that. You are trying to avoid having some roads showing up red. I mean, things like this only shows up red because the traffic comes to a slow here. It's not necessarily red because it's busy. And then, like here before I put this bus station here, this road, as you can see, you've got a legend here. As it gets more red, it's where the road is more like inaccessible. When I had the bus stops here and here before I built this road was showing up as red because the buses would come round, stop here, kids are getting on, they're setting off, and then to get out, as there was a lot of traffic flow here. Because before I started connecting all these other roads up, they'd come off the motorway or the highway, they'd come round here, and this road would have been very busy, and all this road up here would have been very busy. And unfortunately, when you look at my map, that's my bus route. So my buses were getting stuck, they weren't getting anywhere, and the traffic was actually stopping people from getting to the schools. And because people weren't getting to the schools because of the traffic, that was having an impact on the jobs as well. So that's something to look out for. You can have a knock-on effect with traffic with your transit, and then because your transit isn't working, people aren't getting to the schools. because people aren't getting to the schools, people aren't getting educated, and people aren't getting the jobs. And then you'll just end up with industry where no one's working because no one knows how to do anything. But it's one of those, it's a fine balance. You get that balance just right. Like, I've got that balance okay-ish. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I've got a good balance going on. I mean, you can see here there's people that are overeducated for these jobs, but they're still working here. And I think it's because I've got a university there, yeah. So like here you see I've got another buses again picking up, dropping off people outside another educational building. And that's how it works really. People, you don't realise in the game how it's hard to explain it. The transit system in the game really does work as well as a transit system in the real world. You'd be surprised how somebody can get from this part of the city to this part of the city just by jumping on 3 different buses, and they will jump on 3 different buses to do it. So if you were to create a lot of small bus lines, so you could actually, this is how you can generate more money in the game. You can get people to hop on one bus, hop off that onto another one, and because they've had to hop from one bus to another, you'll get that extra, I think it's half a coin in silver that week. So every passenger that does that, you get more money in the game for it. So what I'll have happening in my game is all these people that are waiting at this bus stop here, when they get on this bus, they'll come all the way into the other part of town here, where they'll meet another bus, which I think is about here. They'll get off one bus onto the other. That generates more ticket prices because they're buying another ticket, to then travel further down that route, where that meets up with another bus line. They'll get off and get back on again, paying another ticket price again. And that's how you get more income here on your buses. I mean, right now I'm making half as much as my bus costs to run, but that's because I've not really managed my buses as well as I could do. I've got 2 very long routes with a lot of buses running them, which can be inefficient because you can have a passenger paying that flat rate going from one end of the route to another, and if we say that route's about 14,000 metres, they're getting 14,000 metres of that ride for one small price. Whereas if you were to split that bus route up and they'd have to hop off one bus onto another, onto another, onto another, you could get them paying 4 times over to do the same journey. But I'm not like that, you see. I'll just make the money elsewhere because I can't be bothered making so many little bus routes. Just like a tram route. I'm literally going to make a tram route from the bottom of this bit of land right the way to the top, going all along the coast. That's not only emulating the town that I'm recreating, but it's also because I just can't be arsed. I can't. I'm not going to have a different tram route for every day. Which reminds me, I need to reconnect this up because I was altering this road system. It's looking a bit busy. All these people wanting to go to shops, to clubs, to work. Well, he's a worker at the bus depot, so he's going to be getting off on that bus, off another bus, onto another bus. I mean, that guy's journey is going to be a long one. Considering he's here, he's working at the bus depot. The bus depot's over here. It's literally on the other side of the map. I like how I'm calling him a he, he's a woman. That's just yeah, that's going to confuse people. She's going to go back home. Oh, I'm called Karen then. Why am I having trouble with electricity? There's more electricity being used than I'm actually creating at the moment. I understand why these people aren't getting electricity. They are connected up, aren't they? Turns out they're not connected up. I have played a little bit of Tropica 5. I do believe I have it on Steam. Just have a quick nosy. Yeah, I've got Tropica 5. I've only played about 20 hours of it. It's more of a difficult game in the sense that you have to do it their way. You can't build the town. Well, you can build the town the way you want it to, but when you're playing Tropico 5, you can't just take your own time. You can't build up slowly and make sure you spending effort on little parts just to make little parts better than the other. You have to rush through it, and the fact that you have to rush through it and build up an army, build up all the industry, and also do it in a way where you're having to meet the requirements of not just your own town, but also the requirement of the dictators, the allies, the Axis, the traders and stuff like that. The fact that you have to rush quite a lot to get a lot of that, a lot of the requirements met, just so you can actually make some money, so then you can actually carry on building it. It's not something that I enjoy as much as Cities. I prefer to play Cities over Tropica. I haven't played Civ 6 yet, but I have got Civ 5, and Civ 5, I would play that every day without fail if other games weren't out there. You know? At the moment, Steam's showing that I have played that game for 456 hours, and I've got all the expansions so far for it. I've got the Explorer's Map Pack, I've got the Scenario Packs, including things like Brave New World, Gods and Kings. So I've got all those. I liked the fact that they brought religion back in the game and things like that, because that gives a whole different aspect to the strategy. The only problem is with things like Civ 5 is Civ's on the very opposite end of the spectrum. Civ can be too easy to play. I mean, once you've got the advantage over the enemy, and you have that advantage, you can just keep going and going and going, and you play with the enemy. Then when you keep doing that over and over and over again, it can get quite boring quite quick. Which again is, it's a fault with how I play it, it's not with the game itself. If your business is not working, why are they not working? Because there was no goods to sell, which would signify that they would need more industry. And apparently there's no food in that shelter as well, which to me sounds like they need some more farms. I'd be happy to do a video on Civ 5. I'll definitely take that into consideration, and I'll just, yeah. It's a game that I've not played for a while, so when I'm not on there, or if I've got a bit of spare time, I'll give it a quick playthrough again just to refresh myself on the game. Because I don't really fancy jumping straight onto a live stream and thinking, oh, fuck, what do I do now? It's not like Command & Conquer where you can just jump back into the game and you know what the units do. You have to sort of sit there and go, oh, which units have got the advantage over other ones.
Predict an earthquake could hit the area soon.
Earthquakes. Oh, that's a good place for an earthquake. Yeah, thinking about it, doing a video on Civ 5, personally I think it would be quite funny, because sometimes I'd get a bit giddy playing it, and when you're having those diplomatic conversations with the enemies, or with your allies, and the characters are saying things to you, I often talk back at my computer screen. I'm thinking, oh you bastard, what are you coming out of that for? You know. So I can think that'll be funny for me to actually do. That'll be a good one to try. I think my friends that I usually play with as well. One of my friends, we play a lot of games online together, you see. Normally I'm streaming things like Defiance or Star Trek Online, you know, some of the other MMOs that are out there. And we're often bullying each other and giving each other shit.
An earthquake is occurring. Don't panic and wait for help if you are in the affected area.
There's a picture of Natalie Portman for everybody to see. That wasn't too bad an earthquake. Not really affected anything. Destroyed a couple of pipes. The radio mast caught fire, but it's back up and running now. Oh, here we go. You can see what I mean by traffic flow. If these buses used to stop on this road here, it would have stopped this traffic coming round, which, as you can see, it comes round here, comes off the highway down this one-way avenue, and it's bunching up here still. You can imagine you've got a lot of goods that wanted to come in, but can't come in because of buses stopping. It's just traffic management at the end of the day. If you can manage it well, you're on to a winner. One of the mods I've got running at the moment is to have bus-only lanes. So when a vehicle comes down here, like this lorry for instance, it'll come down this road. He knows he can't come down here because the game has got a restriction set on this road type to say it's buses, emergency vehicles and taxis only. Just like it is for a normal bus lane in the real world. It's crazy how many hours we do on games though, isn't it? I mean, just looking at Steam now, I've got 300 hours on Cities Skylines so far. And then I look at other games like Assassin's Creed's Black Flag's got 120 hours. Elite Dangerous, I've done 140 hours so far, and I've not really played that game much. I've just sort of been bobbing on and off it. Star Trek Online, I've got 914 hours on Steam, but that's 914 hours after it's become available on Steam. Bear in mind, I used to play that game before it was on Steam. I actually bought it on CD and paid the online subscription to play it, and then it became available on Steam free to play 2 years after it was released originally. So if you imagine over the 5 years I've done 1,000 hours on Steam, there's probably about 200 hours there that aren't counted for. And Prison Architect as well, that's another one. 563 hours on Prison Architect, which is a lot for an independent develops a game. There used to be a point when it was called Modern Warfare 2 was my most played game, and that was 174 hours, but that was when Modern Warfare 2 was out back in 2010, nearly 7 years ago. Since then I've played other games that have been out longer. Which game is that, if you don't mind me asking? I do apologise, I had a few issues with uploading them for some reason. So the live stream practically ground to a halt. It actually had a notification saying that my video was complete and it was ready to be uploaded and things like that, even though I was still recording and still streaming, which was a bit, I didn't expect that. Which game was it that you haven't heard of, if you don't mind me asking, because that could be another game I could you know, do a quick live stream of, and then what I can do is, once YouTube has had the stream, it turns it into a video I just stick in a playlist, you see. So if you subscribe to me and it's a game that you've not heard of and you wanted to have a quick look at it, or by all means, if you wanted to search and see what anyone else has done on that game, you're more than welcome to do that. Look, trains! Oh, welcome back. Yeah, there was a problem I've just been having a look to see why the stream wasn't loading properly and why I was having a few errors. It turned out that Windows was doing something in the background and was using about a quarter of my computer's processing in power for something to do with compatibility telemetry or something. So not only did I have Cities Skylines using a good chunk of my computer's horsepower, I've got the stream program using a good chunk of it, and then Windows was trying to use another chunk of it, and essentially overloaded my stream and caused the stream to have a few hiccups. So that should be resolved now, hopefully. I mean, it's still saying that I've got bad video health, even though it's still loading. We'll just try resetting the stream. Right, that's coming out with saying that the video output is... I'm still getting an error message, but I'm also watching the stream back to myself. It seems working okay. I do live over in Europe, yes. I actually live in the United Kingdom. I live in England. I live in the northwest part in Lancashire. So right now it's actually 3:15 in the morning. Really, I should be in bed getting ready for work the next day, but for some reason I'm just not feeling tired at all, so I thought, why not actually play a game, relax, and you know, just have a little bit of fun. Why not? It's crazy the time differences. You don't realise, you know, it's not something you think every day that on the other side of the world it's actually night time when it's daytime where you are and things like that. It's not something you often think about. Although at work you do occasionally have a joke with someone saying good evening. It's not fucking evening, it's evening someplace in the world. Just to let you know what I'm doing here, I'm actually trying to recreate a little bit of the town that this height map was taken from. So if I just bring over my web browser here, what you can see is let's do this now. Oh, there we go. So where you've got the tram depot here, that's actually there, the tram depot. So if I go into an aerial view on here, God's sake. So here we have this tram depot, which is absolutely massive compared to what you get in game. So I've taken a bit of artistic, you know, I can do whatever I want because it's my world now, it's my city, it's my game, so I can do whatever I want. So I've actually built now so you can see here is that housing estate there, and this little train station. There's this train station here. We've got the tram depot with the loop. Well, obviously I've not done it exact because the game and real life are two different things. So we've got the loop here for the trams to turn round at. They can come round here, come back up and do their own job. That's essentially what I've recreated there. But in my world on here, my tramway obviously carries on and extends down into this fictional part of the town here. So there's a bit of a difference there. I'm trying to replicate these roads coming up. I've not had the best of luck doing that. I mean, I've done a pretty good sort of very quick fix of it. So we have actually got this main road, and we've actually got this bridge here. I can move to bird's eye view. Take those labels off. Yeah. So where this train station is here, when I say train station, it's just a little stop there, and I've built that bridge over here. Although my bridge is a lot larger, unfortunately. This train line's carrying on down here. I might actually put that road in, think about it. Oh, so yeah, so that road there is this road there. That connects onto there. And then the train line and that road are together there, so that's what I've done now. Is essentially this bit of train line here going up. However, I've not curved it off too well. It's not quite the same, but it's getting there. I mean, that house is definitely not looking like that house. But you know, the layout's there, but it's getting there slowly, bit by bit. So hopefully I can fit in what's actually there with the game. Hopefully, that'd be interesting to try and get that up on. The thing that's annoyed me a lot with this map that I've downloaded, because on the PC people can literally get a map of whatever they want to put into the game, you can go onto a website and you can actually create a cities map with it. The only problem is when you look at the world, they've done the highway here, which is equivalent to just putting it there, but the highway is actually that blue line there going up. So someone's rushed it, they've just imported in the shape of the land, thrown down a couple of roads and a couple of train lines without actually putting them where they're supposed to be. So this train line here, this south one, that's this black line here coming down. Now on the game it's just coming here and going along there. Now I've had to rebuild that train line because that train line was originally coming up here. So I've had to bring it through here and route it underneath that bridge that I've built now. Otherwise it would have been over here, which would have been in the incorrect place completely. And then the train line, because I've built my industry essentially here, and this train line's got to come further down, and then it's got to come back up and reconnect with the main train line there. But when I look at the map, that train line that's going there is definitely not connecting up with that train line, I think. Oh, there it is, there's the train line. Yeah, so this train line here, the south train line, is not connecting up with the north train line, which, when you look at the map, is there. That's where they connect up. One goes up and does that, and the other comes down here, goes down there. So I find that a bit frustrating, the fact that I've downloaded this map that someone's made. Someone has said this is the Fouled Coast, and you know, it's like, oh great, so I can download this and I can recreate it. But now I'm in there and I'm playing it and I'm finding it difficult to actually recreate what I want to recreate because things aren't in the right place, which is a little bit annoying. But I'm getting there. It's the sense where I'm just going to have to, as I unlock more blocks on the game, I'll be able to sort it out in time. Citizens are sick. It's because it's too noisy. Why is it too noisy? I'm sorry. Do you not like living next to the train station? Do you not want to get around? I suppose I want some kind of clinic. Really cheeky little sauna there. Maybe stick a doctor's there. Look, they're not sick all of a sudden. I've given them something that they might enjoy, like a steam room, and now they're happy. They're not sick anymore. They don't mind living next to the train line really, they're just moaning. Let's have a look. Crime rate is high. Make sure police can reach the building. Well, they can come down this road. Let me guess. What, is this the one building that they never ever visit? Oh, I do hate it when it auto-saves because it glitches out for a second. The police station now just to be annoying. We're going to go and solve some crimes. Woo, 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 woo. That's a very busy bus stop, and that's a very busy bus considering all those people just got on it. Ah, good night. Well yeah, if you don't catch me live, what I'll be doing is I stream live like this. YouTube, because I've got it set in DVR mode when I'm streaming, YouTube saves the video. I then just set the video to public, add it to a playlist, rename it, give it a few tags, so when this video is done, this stream rather, it will be saved as episode 3. If I do any other videos, it'll follow suit, so if I do a Civ 5 I'll call it episode 1, and if it comes to the point where, like, say if I finish that game and I start a new game, then it'll be like season 2 episode 1 or something like that, you know, in a different playlist, so all my vids will be available. I'm definitely going to take it on board to do Civ 5 because that sounds fun to me as well. I'm going to try and arrange somebody else to play with me as well, so that'll be quite fun to get a bit of back and forth, and you know, I'm going to fucking kill you kind of thing, so that'll be fun to watch. And I wish you a good night and have fun tomorrow, basically. And I think I'm going to be coming off soon because it's 3:30 in the morning, and like you've got school, I've got work. Right, so I'm going to drop down Civ 5. Stream. Yeah, I'm liking that sound of that. Right, you're very welcome. A very full bus. Ah, goodbye. I think we'll call that a night now. We've made, I wouldn't say I've made a lot of progress, but made some in the sense that we've now got some more actual, like, true to life. Of course, this area's been rebuilt. This train station is now true to life without progress. Yeah, so a bit more true to life. But these two train station placements are true to life. This bridge is getting there. Layout of this neighbourhood here, and this road system here is true to life. A bit of mistake made here, but this can be easily easily repaired to match the actual streets in real life. This is just an abortion that's going to need to be getting rid of soon. And this industry here is going to be a bit more reimagined. We're getting there, we're definitely all getting there, we're getting towards more true to lifeness. It's nice when it's photorealistic and you just look down and say, oh. Oh, see if buses are not jammed? Nope. These buses are packed though, oh yes. That time going to be packed on its way down. Bus count a bit more. Right. I'll call them stream here now, guys. If you want to catch this stream later on, it'll be on my channel, it'll be on the videos, it'll be on the playlist for Cities Skylines. There's two earlier videos done, but the second one, I wasn't really talking so much because the wind noise that was being made, you know, with the hurricane that was downgraded to a storm. And that's it. You've got me links to my Facebook and my Twitter live on screen right now, so if you want to follow me or like or give any feedback or even directly message me, I'm available to do that. So I wish everybody a good night or good morning depending where you are in the world, and best luck for the day coming. Good night everybody. It's now 4 o'clock in the morning where I am, so and I have work in the morning, so I'm going to have to go. Possibly the next stream might be Sid Meier's Civilization 5. If not, it might be Star Trek Online or Cities Skylines again. But it will signify on, if you subscribe to me and it says on your YouTube homepage that I'm live now, the video that's streaming live will always have the title for what game I'm playing, so you'll know if you want to watch or not. Okie dokes, and I shall see you later.